Good. Dear Vice Rector, dear Dean, dear attendants, thank you very much for the invitation to talk to you today in the LIT lecture. It's my pleasure to talk to you about a project we did at our department. I'm an associate professor at the Department of Retailing, Sales and Marketing. So enhancing reputation through corporate architecture, that's what I would like to introduce to you in the next 15 minutes. So first of all, corporate architecture, what is it? It's of course a part of a company's corporate design, and corporate architecture is the use of architecture as an expression of a corporate personality. So not only we as humans, but also companies and brands do have their personalities. So why should we have a personality? Because it can serve as the basis for identification, differentiation, and profile, also vis-a-vis competitors. Why do we do corporate architecture? What's the goals? It's supporting awareness and image of a corporation. And also, it should support building mental images in consumers' minds. So we marketers, we are of course very much concerned about consumers and their image they have in their minds about the company, about the products. And when we talk about corporate architecture, what do we mean? It's buildings, but it can also be office rooms, exhibitions, trade fair appearances, and experience worlds that various companies have established. So here I brought to you one of the most prominent examples of a corporate architecture supporting a brand, a company, and I'm sure it's a brand many of you know, headquartered not very far from here in Munich, Germany. And if you look at this building, what would be your association that comes to your mind? The logo, yes, the logo. Anything else that comes to your mind? A cylinder, yeah, that's right. So the logo, of course, and the cylinder, part of the engine. So here we do see the very strong connection to the brand. So corporate architecture from a marketing perspective, of course, we look through our marketing lens on this topic. So architecture does not only have these functional aspects, but of course it also serves for communication. It also provides identity and brand values for different stakeholders, such as the customers. And corporate architecture also stands for the philosophy and culture of an organization. Corporate identity is also the foundation of corporate reputation. So that's the central concept we were investigating here. And what is corporate reputation, or how is it different from an image of a company? So the image is the picture that relevant stakeholders, such as consumers, do have in their minds of a company. And the reputation of a company is even more than the image, so it's not only the picture in the mind, but it's also support potential. So what could be support potential? It could be a purchase, it could be a recommendation to family or friends, or it could also be defense against critique. And it has been found out that reputation is a central immaterial asset value of a company. So our study, and I'm talking about a study we did at the department, was focusing on timber buildings. So here you see a very innovative example of a timber building, a commercial timber building. Here you see here in the picture of an Austrian retail chain, food retail chain. So this is a very innovative example. So what about commercial timber buildings then in Austria? What's the status? So at the moment, 6% of industrial and commercial buildings in Austria are made of timber. On the opposite, we do have ferroconcrete with 44% and masonry or mineral buildings with 32%. So we do see really high potential for timber in this segment of commercial buildings. And we do have a number of successful pioneer projects. You also see here some pictures. So when we talk about reputation, it's about building up reputation. Here the customer touch points are very important. So the points where people get in contact with the company. The management is important to have a really structured, strategic management process. And we do have the measurement. We have various measurement concepts around how we can actually measure reputation. So what did we do in our empirical study? We employed a survey-based approach. The fieldwork was carried out by the IMAS Institute based in Linz. The data collection we did, or IMAS did in February and March 2017. It was face-to-face interviews with 447 respondents. And we employed quota sampling, and the sample is representative of the Austrian population older than 16 years. For data analysis, we used SPSS and R, and the whole project was a cooperation between Johannes Kepler University and Pro-Holz Upper Austria. So what did we do? So we asked the respondents. So first of all, we showed the respondents the two pictures, and we asked the respondents for their statements regarding the two pictures. And as you can see, the pictures, they are absolutely identical, except from the material the buildings are made of. So on the left-hand side, you see the timber construction, and on the right-hand side, the mineral building. So we asked the respondents for their statements regarding the two buildings. So what are the results? So very briefly, we do have a number of results. I just try to point out the most important ones. So first of all, descriptive results regarding products and services of a company. And you see here on the left-hand side the statements we asked the respondents. And we see the percentage of agreement in terms of timber buildings and the percentage of agreement in terms of mineral buildings. And on the very right column, the delta between the timber and the mineral buildings. And very interesting in terms of products and services, for the statement, this company develops innovative products and services. 70% agreed in terms of timber buildings, and 60% agreed in terms of mineral buildings. Vision and leadership. Just one statement I would like to point out. This company has a clear vision for its future. So more than 75%, so 76% to be precise, agreed for the timber buildings. For the mineral buildings, it was 66%. So also 10% delta we see here. Also for workplace environment. This company looks like a good company to work for. So here the delta of 25%. Social and environmental responsibility. This company is an environmentally responsible company. So delta of 34%, and also for other statements regarding this aspect. Financial performance. We do see here an interesting delta as well. So this company looks like a company with strong prospects for future growth, also a delta in favor of the timber buildings. Emotional appeal. So we know that emotions also are very strong drivers of brands and reputation. And we do see also here on the emotional aspects, good feeling, trust, we do have here a delta in favor for the timber buildings. And finally, the reputation impact. So when we ask about the recommendation, about the trust, and the willingness to engage in a customer relationship, we also do see a positive delta in terms of the timber buildings. So that was the descriptive results. Of course, we also had a regression model. I won't go into detail on that in the short period of time. We have today just a summary of the most important results. So it was the first measurement of reputation in the area of architecture. We found out that corporate buildings made of timber are perceived substantially more positive in various aspects. We do see drivers of reputation such as social and environmental responsibility, workplace environment, and emotional appeal as a central role, and also products and services, of course, do contribute here to reputation. So, how can we sum up the results? Companies in timber buildings can expect a highly positive chain of associations. They do have a higher recommendation rate. They do have a higher trustworthiness. There's a higher willingness to engage in a customer relationship. And we can sum it up that 12% more reputation was perceived of timber buildings than with other architecture. And further details of the study are available at this link. So what are the consequences? Maybe just to point out a few issues. So reputation management is a strategic issue. It's a responsibility of top management. It's a leadership task. Also, reputation management is embedded in a very dynamic environment, an environment that constantly changes and thus also involves constant change management. And in order to enhance reputation, a really strategic and goal-oriented management process should be employed. So thank you very much for your attention, and I will be happy to answer your questions.